Hey everyone, Bean here, and it's that time of year again. Everyone's out buying gifts for their loved ones, spending time with their family, enjoying that Christmas cheer. What am I doing? Oh, the Christmas season. How could you not love it? Buying presents takes a lot of thought, money, time, and most importantly, money to get ready. It's hard to think of a specific thing that someone would want for Christmas. But don't worry, because for me it's easy. I like video games. See? Buying video games is fairly easy. It's no doubt the most common form of media in recent times. But I hate Sony, and you don't know what that does to a person. Yeah, so having this amount of Switch games may seem little to us collectors, but to some random grandma in Idaho, we have every game ever made. This can make it difficult to find a game that we both like and don't already own. You don't see me asking for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. But either way, most gift givers would likely turn to the new stuff, what just came out. And companies know this. Look at what Nintendo just released this month. Holiday titles. Being the prime time to buy gifts, of course companies need to throw out some heavy hitters during the holiday season. It's only natural. When people predict a game lineup for a specific year, they often think of a big holiday release title to slide into. Generally somewhere in between mid-October to mid-December. And rightly so, the time a game releases can affect a game's sales. But you see, I'm different. Look at this. This is Mario and Luigi Brothership, released November 7th of this year. Notice something? Yeah, buying new games for people isn't as simple as you'd think. Sure, most people would wait to hopefully receive it on Christmas from someone else, but like I said, I'm different. I can't wait to play Mario Wonder. But all this complaining got me thinking, what holiday titles have I missed out on? Owning games literally only made by Nintendo. I don't care if I missed out on those orange games. I'm also colorblind. But anyways, this Christmas, I want to dive deep into holiday titles over the years and what people can buy me. It all started in 1982, where one of the most infamous holiday games ever released in December, E.T. the video game. What a game. I mean, they really messed up here. Could you tell? Yeah, so we're not off to a great start here. E.T. is likely the most well-known flop in gaming history. If you aren't familiar with the game and or the reasons, then you might not even be familiar with the E.T. movie, so let me give you a quick rundown. Boy finds alien that came to Earth. That's Toy Story footage. Anyways, E.T. was a massive success, so Atari naturally took their shot at a video game adaptation. And by took their shot, I mean tell one guy to make a game in 5 weeks. Newsflash, it was a bad game, and is often blamed for the North American video game crash of 1983, which is partially true, though it wasn't entirely E.T.'s fault. But that leads us to 1983, and because of the crash, video games weren't in a good place. The Famicom released this year. You could say that about literally anything and no one would care. Just like this toast. I swear to God. Anyways, not much of note happened until Nintendo revitalized North American gaming in 1985 with you know who and you know what. Super Mario Bros. Was released alongside the NES and a bunch of games in mid-October of 1985, which was a very smart move by Nintendo, and in just around a month, Mario became the best-selling game of the year. And until around the 90s, Nintendo pretty much dominated the video game market. I mean, the rest of the holiday seasons are what you expect from the NES. You know, your Castlevania, Zelda 2s, Punch-Outs. It's in 1989 where things get interesting, when the Sega Genesis released. I'm so happy for that. I mean, it's the Genesis. 16-bit console, plastic cases, does what Nintendo... Yeah, sadly enough for me, Nintendo actually had competition at this point. 4 years into the NES, a new 16-bit console comes out and dares to challenge them? Kinda insane. The whole bit thing may seem kinda ridiculous, especially nowadays when nobody cares. But back in the day, it was all about the bits. Anyways, in 1989, the Genesis itself only released in August of that year over here, so it didn't quite make the cut. However, Nintendo did have something up their sleeve. The Game Boy. At least they had a new console to hold them over. Yeah, so both of these consoles didn't really release in the holiday season, and the games that did aren't really notable. Same thing happened in 1990, but in 1991, oh boy, we got some good stuff here. You know what came out in 1991? The US government passed the China Act, and oh my god, Mario World and Sonic 1 released in North America. Yeah, sure, neither of them released in the holiday season, but that was the big thing for this year, especially since this meant Nintendo had their new console out, the Super Nintendo. Now, the rival can officially begin. It's obvious that these two games were very prominent in the holiday season, despite both of their summer releases. Sega did win the battle this year. Sonic 1 was the best-selling game of 1991, but Super Mario World was a close second. This year really started the thing between the companies. Holiday titles were mainly just on these two systems, and up until 1995, we got games like Sonic 2, Mario Land 2, Donkey Kong Country, and then it happened. No, it can't be! Sony's PlayStation was released in September of 1995. Could you tell? The PlayStation, along with the two other prominent consoles at the time, had some holiday titles this year, with more competition than ever. PlayStation has such releases as FIFA 96 and Doom, Nintendo had Donkey Kong Country 2, and Sega, I don't know, Toy Story. Yeah, big stuff went down in this year. You could tell because the Virtual Boy released. The PlayStation had fancy new 3D graphics, and if Nintendo wanted to keep up, they had to act fast. So in 1996, they put out the Nintendo 64, one of the most influential days in gaming. Yeah, you likely already know everything there is to know about Mario 64, so I won't yap for long. I'm still gonna yap. Look how many times I've 100%ed Mario 64. I'm also insane. The Nintendo 64 was the talk of the town for a minute there, but after Mario 64, not much happened. When I look back at this console's library, it's usually kinda lame to me. It's really the Marios and Zeldas that stick out here, with some outliers like Smash Bros. And Banjo-Kazooie, but overall, things were kinda the same here for a few years. The N64, PS1, and year-old Sega Saturn competed until around 1998, with releases like Parappa the Rapper, Ocarina of Time, and so on. What happened in 1998, you may be asking? Well, disaster struck. Sega made a bad decision. Sound the alarms. Sega released the Dreamcast at this point, which ended up killing them in the process. So for a generation here, it was pretty much just Nintendo and Sony competing until Microsoft came in to replace Sega, and now we're where we are today. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft fighting to be number one. And man, did it hurt Nintendo. In 2000, the PS2 released, the best-selling console ever. Yeah, this really affected Nintendo's new console, the GameCube. How was it supposed to compete with a PS2? On the plus side, in 2001 the GBA was released, and it did fairly well, so at least Nintendo had something to help them. Xbox was also there. To me, this is when we get into primetime video game holiday seasons. Holiday gift guides were getting more popular at this point, and the GameCube just released in November, so all of its two launch games were holiday titles as well. This generation of consoles was about the same until around 2007, so let's go through a lightning round of holiday releases in this 6 years. 2002. Nintendo released Mario Party 4 in October, and man, I've always wanted these GameCube Mario Parties. They're so interesting, especially Mario Party 6 and its day-night mechanic. Metroid Prime came out as well, revitalizing the series for quite a bit there. Sony released Spyro Enter the Dragon, although that was also on GameCube, but hey, the new Spyro release is still fairly notable. Ratchet & Clank was also released in November of this year, which is a biggie, considering it begun the series. Looking at Microsoft's side of things, they released Metal Gear Solid 2 and Fatal Frame this year. How could you live without it?
2003.
Nintendo once again released a Mario Party game, which seems to be a big trend these 4 years, and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga on the GBA. One of my favorite games on one of my favorite series. They made an RPG an interesting concept. It's such a charming experience. PlayStation came out with another Ratchet & Clank game, along with Muppets, and Xbox had GTA 3, releasing in November of this year. It was already on PS2 and had been for around a year, but I hate Xbox. Just please let me do this. 2004.
Guess what time it is?
Mario Party? Apart from that, Nintendo also released the DS this year, just something to take note of. PS2 got Metal Gear Solid 3, and Xbox got Halo 2 this year. Look, I'm not a Halo guy, but you gotta give this game credit. It was praised in pretty much every department upon release. This is your turn to compliment me. 2005. Apart from, we also got Mario Kart DS and Mario & Luigi Partners in Time, both incredible DS games. Especially Partners in Time in my opinion. A great follow-up to Superstar Saga. And while it's probably not better than Bowser's Inside Story, I couldn't tell you anything because I still don't own Bowser's Inside Story. Not much from Sony this year, but oh my god. The Xbox 360 released this year, arguably one of the most iconic consoles ever, released on November 22nd, 2005. Its launch games consisted of
2006.
No! Wait, that's actually not that bad. Oh god. I don't know how longer I can stay sane talking about holiday release titles. So it's Mario Party this, Doom that. The only saving grace is Garfield Quest for Pookie. I don't understand how people can genuinely go buy a game for someone else. What am I supposed to get for Christmas? I don't want Halo 2. Going through all these games doesn't even make me sad I missed out on them. It just further conveys the dread of what I'm gonna get for Christmas. God forbid I get Yoshi's New Island. What do I do then? What do I do? I'm genuinely starting to go insane talking about this crap. I want Mario 3, but I already have Mario 3. There must be something I want. Something I can ask for. I gotta calm down. I'll be back. Huh. What a good game. So is Mario World. Can you believe it? Wait a minute. I don't need people to buy me more games. This isn't what Christmas is even all about. It's about thinking of loved ones, spending time with them. Why have I been so worried about what I'm gonna get for Christmas when I should be worried about what to get other people? That's what Christmas is truly all about. And This is Mario's missing. Well, it's Christmas morning, and I already exchanged my gifts. I kept mine here just in case people started to notice that I liked Mario Odyssey. To be fair, the holiday season is a stressful time for gift buyers and large video game corporations who like to release games in the months of November and December alike. And you know, once you start to lose that tiny bit of empathy you have left, there's always something that keeps putting a smile on your face. This game is orange, you gotta be kidding me!